What's up, guys? Hello, everyone. So, in this video, we'll be exploring how the C# code helps in. We'll be exploring how the C# code helps in cross-platform automation. So, the first stage of this particular, so the first stage in which a C# code will help you in cross-platform application is the first stage is developer writes code. This is a stage in where if you are using a terminal like Git Bash, you'll be making use of a .NET run. Then here is a condition which says, does code contain any errors? If code contains any errors, you would be reverted back to developer writes code, which is whereby your terminal will throw in an error, fix and then rewrite. You would have to correct those errors and then rerun your code. If your code runs again and then there's still an error, you will be reverted back. Look at this particular, look at it. The arrow goes back. Compilation, if compilation error messages gives developer details, you'll be given details of what caused the errors, lines and the likes. The moment your code fails. So, but if code does not fail, what exactly happens? Compiler creates a .exe intermediary language file. So thank you very much. If you visit the Microsoft documentation, you would come across different names for this particular intermediate language. I would advise that you actually call it common intermediary language, because that's what I pretty much, because that's what I pretty much like. You can call it. It has several names. The first one is the common intermediary language. The second one is the intermediary language, and then the third one is the Microsoft intermediary language. Depending on whatever one you call it, it's pretty much your choice. You can call it intermediary language for short. You can call it the Microsoft intermediary language for short. You can call it the one which I really love, which is common intermediary language. And then the next stage is developer runs .exe file. In this particular stage, this is where the .exe file gets run, because why? Your code will be after your code does not contain errors, it will compile your code into a common intermediary language file. So, but one thing to actually notice is that this common intermediary language is the exact thing that is making C# cross-platform, in the sense that I can copy a person's common intermediary language file and then paste it on my own system, as long as things like operating system, which is that, say for example, now I copy a common intermediary language now from a 64-bit system, and then I'm transferring it to another 64-bit system, it will definitely work, in the sense that, because those are factors that might actually affect it from working. Common intermediary language can be shared. That is why we say C# is cross-platform, in the sense that it can be shared from one platform to another platform. It is because of this common. It is because C# code gets converted into common intermediary language. That's why we regard C# as being a cross-platform application. Then the next one is CLR. CLR is just command language runtime. That's CLR for short. This CLR will compile intermediary language into native code executed by the computer processor. Okay, so now this is your common intermediary language. You have the common intermediary language file. This one can work on any system, be it a Mac or a Linux or a Windows. Yes, it can work on any particular system. But now you still need a CLR, in the sense that you now still need CLR, command language runtime, to actually convert it into a runtime, which is that it will convert it specifically for your own system. Say for example, now you're using a Mac now, it will convert the common intermediary language into a particular code that is compatible for Mac users. The CLR, one thing to actually note, here's a big difference, is that the CLR is very much different from the CIL, in the sense that CIL can be copied from one system to another system, but CLR cannot be copied from one system to another system. CLR cannot be copied from one system to another system because systems differs. Take it like this: CIL is machine independent, but CLR is machine dependent. Yes, that's what I really want you to take. That's one thing I want you to take from it. Once again, developer writes C# code. Then after the developer writes C# code, developer runs command to compile code. This is pretty much your .NET run. You can also use .NET watch run, which is, as you write the code, it automatically gets updated or you can use .NET Build, then .NET Run. But note that .NET Run would run .NET Build for you straight up. So I pretty much wanted to talk about this because I couldn't get any video that really explains this in detail. So I said, let me just talk about how C# enforces cross-platform developer writes C# code. Then after developer writes C# code, developer runs command to compile code. Compilation is pretty much you being in your Git bash and then running the command .NET Run. Then the next one, it's a condition. If code contains no errors, then it moves on to the next step. But if code contains errors, it moves back. It reverts the developer back to writing code. This is a part where the developer will have to re-edit his code and fix the bugs. Then it goes through. Then he has to compile again. Yes, then he has to compile again. But if the code did not contain any error, compiler will create a .txt intermediary language file. Intermediary language is also known as common language. Common intermediary language is also known as Microsoft intermediary language, and it is machine independent. In the sense that you can copy my intermediary language file and then paste it on another person's file. So far, you look into other factors that might actually affect it. Then the developer runs .txt file. Then after the developer runs the .txt file, the common language runtime. Sorry, CLR stands for common language runtime. The common language runtime compiles intermediary language into native code executed by the computer processor. So CLR is machine dependent, CIL is not machine dependent. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about in this video. Thank you. Thank you very much for staying to the end. You are a legend, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you.